שהוא בעזרת השם. נעשה ונצליח והשם עלינו ברחמיו וירוויח. השיעור יהיה לעילוי נשמת אסתר כבן בת קציה, מרדכי בן רחמה ואסתר בת משה הלוי. נשמתם תהיה צרורה בצור החיים, ולרפואת ליאורה בת מרים, מנשה נג'י בן פרחה, who else? לירון בן יהודי, שמואל בן מיכל, ו-please God, רפואה שלמה to all חולה ופצועי עמו ישראל בכל מקום שהם. please God, רפואה שלמה to all the Jewish people, wherever they are, whoever they need. So, בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח, והשם עלינו ברחמיו ירוויח. We're speaking about Tu B'Av. So, Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel say like this: לא היו ימים טובים לישראל כט"ו באב וכיום הכיפורים. By the way, you can find that place, that verse, you can find it in 3 different places. Number 1, you can find it in the end of Mishnah of Masechet Ta'anit in chapter 4, verse 8, Mishnah 8. That's right, the last Mishnah in Masechet Ta'anit. In the Gemara Masechet Ta'anit, funny enough, you can find it in 2 places. You can find that verse in page 30, folio 2, and in page 31, folio 1. Also in the Gemara Masechet Baba Batra, in page 121, folio 1. So from here, you see that you can find what Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel say in 2 different places. But what we have to understand is, number 1, what's happening? What exactly that Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel tell us that lo hayu yamin tovim. What it mean, lo hayu yamin tovim? That means that he come to tell us that was 5 fortunate things that happened to the Jewish people. And that's something extraordinary to hear. When is it happen? On the 15th of Av. And let's try to understand. So let's explain one by one, and we explain that it was 5 things, but a matter of fact it's 6. We'll see now. Rabbi ורב יוסף אומרים, Rabbi and Rabbi Yosef say, יום שפסקו בו לכרות עצי המערכה. What does it mean, עצי המערכה? On the 15th of Av, they stopped chopping the tree for Bet HaMikdash. When Bet HaMikdash was exist, they used to chop the tree because in Eretz Israel now it's summer. You can ask Dr. Les, it's very hot. And when you cut the trees, they used to choose the trees to use it for Bet HaMikdash. It was a great day for everyone. And everyone wanted to have this kind of a great mitzvah, to share that mitzvah, to be part that they can light the altar, the fire on the altar. So what does it mean? Yom shepasku bo לכרות עצי המערכה. By the way, that day called Yom Shever Magal. Shever Magal, it stopped using the chop in simple English. What does it mean? That on that day they stopped cutting the tree. Why? Because until now, things is very hot in Eretz Israel. From August, the temperature dropping down. Now, you have to make sure that when you're cutting the tree, you have to allow them to get dry. Why? Because if there is a worm inside the wood, that the tree that you cut, and you're gonna use it on the top of the altar, you're not allowed. Why? Because everything that sheret, tameh, or trefa, not allowed to be brought on top of the altar. And a worm, obviously, it's something that not kosher, is a tameh, and you're not allowed. So what they used to do, on the Tu B'Av, that it's the 15 days of Av, they used to stop cutting the trees for the Bet HaMikdash in Yerushalayim. Okay, what's happened else? Rabbi Yehuda b'shem Rabbi Ishmael omer. Rabbi Yehuda, in the name of Rabbi Ishmael, say, Yom shehutru bo hashvatim lavo ze baze. What does it mean? That the next fortunate thing that happened to the Jewish people, and the 15th of Av, okay, the tribes now allowed to marry one each other. Because until now, the tribe was not allowed to get married one with each other. What does it mean? The tribe of Reuven, if a woman wanted to find a husband, and she's from the tribe of Reuven, she only allowed to marry from the tribe of Reuven. On the 15th of Av, and I explained when does it happen just now, They allowed now to marry from the tribe of Shimon, the tribe of Levy, and etc. That's happened on the 15th of Av, just before Bnei Israel into Eretz Israel, with the story of the daughter of Tzlofhad. You remember the story of the daughter of Tzlofhad? When the daughter of Tzlofhad came to Moshe Rabbeinu, and they asked him, please, are we allowed to inherit land in Eretz Israel, although that our father didn't have boys? Although so, we want to know if we can inherit his land. And the answer, you all know that Moshe Rabbeinu said to the daughter of Tzlofhad, let me ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and there HaKadosh Baruch Hu answered them that it's positive, that they're allowed to inherit land in Eretz Israel. So after they enter Eretz Israel, that means when they enter Eretz Israel, that's when the tribe was allowed, according to one opinion, to mix marry the tribes amongst others. That's the second fortunate thing that happened. The third fortunate thing, say like this, Rabbi Yosef b'shem Rabbi Nachman. Rabbi Yosef, in the name of Rabbi Nachman, say, Yom shehutar bo shevet Binyamin lavo b'kahal. What does it mean? We know that the story of Pilegesh Bagiva, the was the concubine that one of the husband have, and the tribe of Binyamin get hold of and raped her. I don't want to go through it. It's really not for now. What happened? The Sanhedrin of the Jewish people, because the husband chopped that woman, his concubine, to 12 pieces, because after the member of the tribe of Binyamin raped her and she died, what has he done? He chopped her to 12 pieces, and he took each piece and put in the front of each tribes of Bnei Israel. And the Sanhedrin decide that the guilty one from the tribe of Binyamin should come to trial. And the tribe of Binyamin refused, and then the Sanhedrin decide to make, that's it. We can't accept it. No one allowed to accept the story of Binyamin, and they're going to war, 11 tribes against one tribes. And in that war, 120,000 people die. 120,000 people down that war, lo aleinu, and it was a difficult thing that happened in the Jewish history. So what's happened? On the 15th of Av, the Sanhedrin saw that, listen, it's not a joke anymore. The tribe of Binyamin gonna get wiped off. There's hardly people left. If we're not gonna allow them to now remarried with other tribes, to integrate with the other tribes, they're going to be wiped off. So on the 15th of Av, the Sanhedrin decide that's it. Now the tribe of Binyamin allowed to remarry with the rest of the tribes. That's the third fortunate things that happen. The fourth fortunate things that happen, Rabbi Yohanan Omer, Yom shekalu bo mete midbar. What does it mean? That on the 15th of Av, on the 30th nine, in the end of the 30th nine, okay, when the Jewish people was in the wilderness, when it came to the last year of just before the entering, what used to be happen? On Tisha B'Av, on the 9th of Av in the evening, each Jewish person used to dig his own grave and used to sleep on a grave. And whoever, lo alenu, die, they used to cover him and he died. What's happened? On the 30th 9 years, okay, that means before they entered to Eretz Israel in the 40th year, on 9 and Tisha B'Av, the Jewish people, Bnei Israel in the wilderness, dig their own grave and they slept. And the following morning, everyone wake. So they say, wait, maybe we miscalculate Tisha B'Av. They done it again on the 10th of Av until Tisha B'Av, the 15th of Av. That mean that they done it for 5 days. And then on the 15th of Av, when they saw the moon that it's full, they realized that they didn't make a mistake with the calculation. They realized that the 40th year is already over, and now those decree that was on the Jewish people that everyone was from the age of 20 to the age of 60. You remember that was a decree that after the cry that night that the spy came, we spoke about it, that they will die in Tisha B'Av, they stop. That means every year, 15,000 people on Tisha B'Av, every year on Tisha B'Av, 15,000 people used to die. Do calculation. Take 600,000 from the age of 20 to the age of 60, divided by 40, quick, it will come to 15,000. So on the 15th of Av, they stop. We realize that the decree on the Jewish people stopped. And that's what Rabbi Yohanan said. That was the fourth fortunate thing that happened to the Jewish people. Ula say, now the fifth things that happen, Ula say, Yom shebitel bo hamelech Hoshaya ben Elah, shaya melech bashomron et haprusdereot. What does it mean? I will explain. The king Hoshea ben Elah, he was the last king of Israel. And he was in Samaria, okay, in Shomron. And he canceled the gods that Yerovam ben Nevat was a king. And he canceled all the gods that he put, because he used to worship idols, and he put gods that used to watch that Jewish people cannot go to Eretz Israel. What it means to go to Eretz Israel, to Yerushalayim, because they all live in Eretz Israel. But he stopped people that wanted to go to Jerusalem, to Beit HaMikdash, to do their sacrifice, to do the atonement, and especially on a festival, to bring the bikurim and everything, because he used to worship idol Yerovam ben Nevat. So he put gods all around Israel, all around the surrounding of Jerusalem, that no one from different cities can enter Jerusalem. So when Hoshea ben Elah became a king, the first thing that he done, he get rid of those people that used to stop the Jewish people coming to Jerusalem, to Beit HaMikdash, to sacrifice, okay? And he given a permission that now every Jew can go to Jerusalem, to go to Beit HaMikdash, to bring the sacrifice, especially on a festival. So that's the fifth fortunate thing that happened. The sixth fortunate thing that happened, Rav Matna Omer, Rabbi Matna say, Yom shenitnu bo mete midbar lekvura. Rav Matna, by the way, that's Gemara brought in the Gemara Masechet Gittin in page 57, folio 1, 57, folio 1, yes. There, the Gemara explained what happened. It was the city of Beitar. After the destruction, it was the coup of Bar Kokhba. Okay, because Rabbi Yohanan asked the king, allowed us Beitar v'Chachamea. So Beitar became a big city that was 200,000 people there, full of families, you know. And what happened? It was in the time of Andrianos Caesar, the Caesar Andrianos, okay? That when he put the city on a siege and he killed 200,000. What happened there? When he killed the member of that city, okay, he left 200,000 bodies for 7 years unburied, that they're never going to be buried. So what's happened in the 15th of Av? The 15th of Av happened a miracle that after 7 years, they've been allowed to taken to be buried, and another miracle happened to them, that the body never decayed, the body never got rotten or decayed. And that's what, if you look in Birkat Hamazon, Rabban Gamliel constitute for us to say Birkat Hatov ve'Ametiv. Hatov, what it mean Hatov? Hatov, that the good, that after 7 years they've been brought up to where? To be buried. Hametiv, that he done a favor, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu make a great miracle, that for 7 years, the bodies of those 200,000 members of the city of Beitar never got rotten, never got smelly, never decayed, and nothing happened to them. Because the Lo Aleinu, those rotten people, they used to use the bodies, especially call them rotten people, because there's no other name to call them. Because what they used to use the body, they used to build from it a fence to the gardens, to the properties. That's how wicked they was. So in a 15 of Av happened a miracle that those bodies been brought to burial, and thanks God, they never decayed, never got smelly or rotten. So those, the 6 fortunate things that happen in Tu B'Av. That briefly, I've especially gone very fast over it because I want to get to the main part of the show. Now, I want to understand with you, Be'ezrat Hashem, together, what is the significance of Tu B'Av, the 15th of Av. As you all know, one of the name of Tu B'Av is Yom Ahava. Chas v'shalom to call it Valentine days. Although what used to happen, there's one opinion in Chazal. Chazal bring that on the 15th of Av, the single girls that never got married yet used to dress all with white dresses. Why dafka white dresses? Because some of them come from a normal family that couldn't afford. Some of them was very rich. Some of them was very poor. Chazal constitute that all the single girls will wear white, not to embarrass any girl. And what they used to do, they used to stand on top of the grapes and they used to crush them to make wine. And while the man was walking, the single man, they used to say to the man, don't look at the exterior looking of us. Look what there is interior of us. That means look at our intelligence, look at our midot, character trait, look at our family, how good family we are. That means that in that time was a time of shidduchim, and that's what we're going to get. So we understand from here that that was a day of love and comfort. And we have to understand what is love and comfort have to do with each other. So one of the idea that people mention that it's the common factor of the 6 things that we mentioned, the fortunate thing that happened to the Jewish people in the 15th of Av. What was it? It's the day that was love. What it means love? Ahavat Hinam. It means the love and the unity of the Jewish people. Because we all know that what caused the destruction was Sinat Hinam. But now, if you look at the 6 things that we mentioned, the 6 points, the 6 fortunate things that we mentioned, they're all speaking about unity and the love amongst the Jewish people. So that's why it's called the day of love and comfort. Other idea is, as we mentioned, that on the 15th of Av, what's happening? The 15th of the month, usually the moon, not usually, always, the moon is completely full. Okay? The same like in every other month in a year. It's come to tell us that in that time, the 15th of Av, HaKadosh Baruch Hu fully in Simcha. And the Jewish people only also fully in Simcha and joy. That means that we know that the Jewish people consider like the moon. And Dafka, after a time of the 3 weeks, that means from the 17th of Tammuz to 9 of Av, it was a declining, a terrible declining in the Jewish time. We know that all the horrible thing that we spoke about in 17 of Tammuz, the 3 weeks, Yemei Ben HaMetzarim, and then we spoke about Tisha B'Av, was very, very difficult time to the Jewish people. So where is the comfort come here? It's come to tell you that on a 15 of Av, and the 15th of the month, usually the moon is completely full. It's come to tell you, even if there is a difficult time in life, and you see only down, you don't see anything up. You're sliding down, you can't see up. Don't give up. After every downhill, there is an uphill. And that's what the 15th of Av come to tell us. that the 15th of Av come to tell us that we have to believe that after downhill, there is uphill. And that's what it's come to tell us, that we should never lose our hope. And not only that, Chazal come and tell us something extraordinary, that although that we don't see Bet HaMikdash being built yet, we're obligated to believe that Bet HaMikdash will be built, the third Bet HaMikdash. And that's one of the 13 principles of the Rambam, Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon, the Maimonite. He born in city of Cordoba in Spain 886 years ago. And he wrote 13 principles, 13 עיקרים. One of them, that we have to believe that the Mashiach will come and Bet HaMikdash going to be built, the third Bet HaMikdash. That means that the 15th of Av come to tell us that although sometimes we see difficult time in the Jewish people, in the history of the Jewish people, that happened dafka in the months of Tammuz and at the beginning of Av, just remember when you're getting to the 15th of Av, when the moon is full, Akadosh Baruch Hu guarantee you that there is an uphill now. Now I saw the Rashi and I heard that shiur, dafka, I heard it today, funny enough, and I heard it also on Friday, I listened to it again, that Rav Mordechai Eliyahu, Zecher Tzadik V'Kadosh Libracha, say, many people looking for Segula. Segula is the eminent. They want to live a long life. Rashi said, dafka on Tu B'Av, the 15th of Av, he said that from that night, in Eretz Israel, the night starting to get shorter, the day getting shorter and the night getting longer, he said that now it's the time to study more Torah. And that's what makes simcha and comfort to the people, that they'll know that they live for a long life. So people looking for eminent, from Tu B'Av onwards, because the day getting shorter in Eretz Israel, the night getting longer, okay? You should study more Torah. That means that now you have time and more time to sit and to study Torah, and that's a guarantee that you have a long life. Okay, the 15th of Av is also a day of repentance, Yom Tshuva, the day of Tshuva. And Chazal explained to us, and the mystical rabbi, and the mystical books it's mentioned, and the Musar rabbi also speak about it, and the Hasidut is all the Hasidim that there is, and all of those books, it's mentioned that the day, okay, that the Tu B'Av, it's the first day of judgment. Now you're going to ask, what's happening here? Isn't the day of judgment is Rosh Hashanah? What's happening here? So we will explain. Yes, it is Rosh Hashanah, but it's also Tu B'Av. And how does it fit together? Be'ezrat Hashem, be with me, try to understand. And if not, I'll stop and I'll give time for question. Or maybe before I start with the day of Tshuva, maybe some of you want to ask question. If any one of you want to ask question so far about what we spoke, you can ask now. Anyone have any question? Just unmute yourself and ask me. No. So let's continue. So what it means a day of Tshuva? So the mystical rabbi explained like this. It's a day of a judgment. And one of the signs that we know that when is Rosh Hashanah been appointed to become the day of Rosh Hashanah, the new year, we know that it's the day of the creation. The day of the creation. HaKadosh Baruch Hu start creating the world on the 25th of Elul. Remember that, 25th of Elul. Okay? That's when HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world. On a sixth day, what happened? HaKadosh Baruch Hu created male, the human being. He created Adam HaRishon, nachon? What's the connection? The mystical rabbi explained like this. If you take the days from Tu B'Av to 25th of Elul, you'll see that there is 40 days. That means from Tu B'Av, the 15th of Av, to the 25th of Elul, you have 40 days. What is that 40 days come to represent? They come to represent to us the day of renewal. The same like HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world, now he's going to renew the Jewish people. That means it's a day of judgment for the Jewish people to start renewal themselves. Until we reach Yud, okay, Aleph Tishrei. What is in Aleph Tishrei? That's Rosh Hashanah. That's when Adam HaRishon being created. So it's come to tell you that the day of Tshuva, the 15th of Av, come to represent a day of Tshuva renewal. How do we see it? That if you count the 40 days that there is from 15th of Av to the 25th of Elul, you'll see 40 days. Another idea that Hazal bringing, and now I'm going to speak again about renewal, but also a new order. Hazal tell us in a Gemara in Masechet Sotah in page 2, folio 1. 40 יום קודם יצירת הוולד מכריזים בשמיים בת פלוני לפלוני. What does it mean? Hazal tell us in a Gemara in Masechet Sotah, 40 days before the baby get formed, okay, there is a decree in heaven, okay, that daughter gonna marry that person. Hazal tell us in a Gemara Masechet Sotah, before the baby form himself from the shape of the baby, there is a decree that say that Mr. X gonna marry Mrs. X. That's how that say. Okay, what is the connection? It's come to tell you, again, the number 40. Look here how that fits. It's come to tell you, Tu B'Av, we say that it's the new beginning, okay? It's the day that HaKadosh Baruch Hu started and created the new world, nachon? That means that the new world is a new order in the world. That means the 15th of Av, you have to remember it's a new order in our life. The same like a baby being created and form its shape, that's Tu B'Av. Tu B'Av come to represent for us a new life, a new order, a new shape, okay? And to do atonement to all what's happened to us. I saw other opinion that explain that Tu B'Av is a day of Tshuva, a day of atonement. How does it work? And listen to that. We said that there is 40 days from 15th of Av to the 25th of Elul. Yes, nachon. Who gone up to heaven for 40 days and 40 nights? Moshe Rabbeinu. After the sin of Het HaEgel, after Am Yisrael, especially say Am Yisrael and not Bnei Israel, because the Zohar HaKadosh say, wherever it's written Am Yisrael, referring to the Erev Rav, the multi-nation. And there, if you look, that it speak about Am Yisrael, that they sin in the golden calf. So what's happened? When Am Yisrael sinned in the golden calf and Moshe Rabbeinu came down with the first tablet, after he came with the first tablet and he saw them enjoying the golden calf, not worshiping, enjoying, what happened? Moshe Rabbeinu broke the first tablet. And he knew that there is a decree on the Jewish people. What did Moshe Rabbeinu done? Moshe Rabbeinu gone up to heaven for 40 days and 40 nights, and he stayed up in heaven, and he didn't eat, and he didn't drink, and he asked HaKadosh Baruch Hu to do atonement to the Jewish people. And those exactly the same days, like HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that Moshe Rabbeinu was with HaKadosh Baruch Hu up in heaven 40 days. That means that those 40 days that Moshe Rabbeinu was up in heaven, those equivalent to the 40 days between Tu B'Av, the 15th of Av, to the 25th of Av. So we see from here that we know that in the 9th of Av, in Tisha B'Av, was 5 tragedies that happened to the Jewish people. How you say it? Shuf, my English. The rectification of it, to recorrect it, what happened? Came in the 15th of Av. That means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to the Jewish people on the 15th of Av, going to be atonement to all what's happened to you during those 3 weeks. That means we know that in Yud Zayin, Betamuz, 5 things happen, 5 tragedies, and Tisha B'Av also 5 tragedies happened to the Jewish people. 5 days later, on the 15th of Av, HaKadosh Baruch Hu rectify everything and tell us that the 15th of Av is a day of rectification for you to rectify all of those sins. Rabbi Tzadok HaKohen Miluvlin, he born in Lublin, he born in Poland, 197. He wrote a book, Pri Tzadik, the fruit of a tzaddik. And he said like this, also, by the way, I saw also a commentary of Rabbi Moshe Teitelbaum. Rabbi Moshe Teitelbaum, also born in Poland, he born 261 years ago, a bit, few years before Rabbi Tzadok HaKohen Miluvlin, and his book is Smach Moshe. Now, they both wrote in their book. The one wrote about the Rabbi Tzadok HaKohen Miluvlin, his book that he called Pri Tzadik, he speak about, usually about Parshat HaShavua and the festival. Rabbi Moshe Teitelbaum, that wrote in his book Smach Moshe on Parashat Vayithanan in page 101, folio 2, they both saying something extraordinary. And they say like this, that the Tu B'Av, that means the 15th of Av, we know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu destroyed the temple on the 9th of Av, Tisha B'Av. He said on the 15th of Av, there is a good chance that third Bet HaMikdash is going to be built. That means that they come to tell us that the 15th of Av in the mystical, in the Kabbalistic world, they accepted it as one of the highest day that the Bet HaMikdash can be built. That's the Rabbi Tzadok HaKohen Miluvlin, the Rabbi Moshe Teitelbaum. So from here we see that the 15th of Av, we have to look at it as a day that you can't just go over it. Nachon that we don't say Tahanun, Nachon that Hazal tell us it's a special day that we do on it. It's a Yom Tov that we don't have to do any Tahanun or any atonement, any Viduim, Has v'Shalom. It's a day of joys. Now, we say at the beginning of the show, Lo hayu yamim tovim liYisrael keTu B'Av u'keyom HaKippurim. That means the Jewish people never have a good days like the 15th of Av and Yom Kippur. What is the connection between them? So the connection between them, the Mefarshim explained like this. We know that what happened in Yom Kippurim, Hazal tell us that Moshe Rabbeinu, when he came down the mountain second time, what did he say to Bnei Israel? He said that HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him, Salahti kidvarecha. That means, you done atonement by that you came up to heaven for 40 days and 40 nights. I forgive the Jewish people for the sin of the golden calf. Okay, that's what happened on Yom Kippur, remember. And that's what we say, Salahti kidvarecha. The Mefarshim explain that what happened on the second time, Moshe Rabbeinu brought, when he came down, he brought the second temple, the second tablet. With that he brought the second tablet, that was a day of atonement. And the same like the 15th of Av that we say it's a day of atonement. And that's why Hazal put it together. Other idea that we explain, what did we explain? That one of the things that is the 15th of Av, we say it's a day, what we call it a love day. Not Valentine Day that people give chocolate with a shape of a heart, Has v'Shalom. It's a Valentine Day, not what they call it Valentine Day. It's a day of shidduchim, a day of love that a male find his wife, a female find a husband. That means that it's a day that there is a shidduchim on the 15th of Av. And Hazal tell us in a Gemara in Masechet Yerushalmi, in Masechet Bikurim, I don't remember the page. Hazal tell us something extraordinary. Listen to that, how does it fit? When a husband and a wife get married, that means the kala and the hatan getting married, that day it's considered that HaKadosh Baruch Hu take all this sin and he put it in a bottle and he close it with a cork. And if they don't sin, that's considered like the newborn babies. That means that the day of a wedding, it's a day of atonement. And that's what Hazal tell us. לא היו ימים טובים לישראל כט"ו באב וכיום הכיפורים. That means the day of ט"ו באב, the 15th of Av, and the Yom Kippur, it's a day of atonement to the Jewish people. Although it's a day of love, what it means love? It's love of Ahavat Hinam, that we should do Ahavat Hinam to rectify all the mistake that caused for the destruction, of the second temple. By that the person do good deeds on that day, learning Torah, finding a wife, those doing atonement the same like Yom Kippurim. And now we can understand a little bit regarding the 15th of Av. And Be'ezrat Hashem, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will merit us to see Mashiach Tzidkenu speedily nowadays and to build Bet HaMikdash. Now it's time for question. Rabota, you can unmute yourself and I can answer question.
Rav, I have a question.
Sure. Sorry, I needed to drink something.
You mentioned this time and a couple of weeks ago that Am Yisrael is the multi-nation. It's not B'nai Yisrael. Is that correct?
No. Yes. You 100% correct. You want the source for it? The Zohar HaKadosh?
No, my question is as follows. In Israel, they still refer to the people of Israel as Am Yisrael, and even you've got the expression Am Yisrael Chai. Why would we sing Am Yisrael Chai when it doesn't mean B'nai Yisrael Chai? That's
okay. So, very good question, but you have to understand there is a different time between what we speaking in Sefer Shmot, וגם ערב רב עלה איתם ממצרים, the Torah tell us specifically, and the multi-nation gone up. When Bnei Israel left Egypt, גם ערב רב. What does it mean, the ערב רב? ערב רב, it's not necessarily Jewish people. ערב רב, it was a Gentile that left Egypt. Why did they left Egypt? They joined the Jewish people because they saw that Bnei Israel was such a great nation, and the Almighty took them out of Egypt. He redeemed them from Egypt. They took the excuse to join that nation, to become part of that great nation. They wanted to be part of us. Do you understand what I'm saying, Marky? That nation, whoever there was, they joined the Jewish people to leave Egypt because they wanted to be part of the great nation. For example, for us today, there's certain people leave South Africa and they want to go to, let's say, to America. Why? Because they think that in America, it will be much better, that the grass greener next door, or people that leave, go to Australia, and etc. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's happened in a time of the exodus of the Jewish people. When Bnei Israel left Egypt, was other nation, multi-nation, that joined Bnei Israel to leave Egypt. So that's what it's called Erev Rav. Today, if you look, most of the Rabbonim, and that's what I mentioned, that it's in the Torah, Am Israel, not Bnei Israel. Now, what is the connection? Today in Eretz Israel, we are a nation. We are a Jewish nation. No one can debate that. The Jewish people live in Eretz Israel. Nachon, that there is also Erev Rav in Eretz Israel. You have those that hate the Jewish people, those that help our enemies, the lefties. If you look what they're doing in Eretz Israel, how they speak against the Torah, how they speak against religion, how they speak about those soldiers, those are Erev Rav. But you can't say that they're not part of Am Israel, because now we are a nation. We are a nation. We have a house that HaKadosh Baruch Hu merit us to have, and that's Eretz Israel. And no one can deny it. You follow?
Okay, but are we Bnei Israel or are we Am Yisrael?
We both together. That's exactly the answer. We Am Israel and Bnei Israel together. Because among us in Eretz Israel, there is also the multi-nation. You follow?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because in Eretz Israel at the moment, there is those that hate the religious, hate the religious people, hate religion for no reason. You ask them, why do you hate religion? They don't even know how to explain it to you. Now you go ask the left people, why are you supporting our enemies, our cousins? They have no idea. They have no idea. You understand? So today, Am Israel and Bnei Israel, we all one nation. But there is a big difference. And you have to remember, today Bnei Israel is not full. If you want to go in a deep, you want on a mystical level, I'll explain. If you look, Mark, Bnei Israel, who was Bnei Israel? The 12th son of
12 tribes.
Yaakov. Nachon? You agree with me?
Yep. Yep.
Nachon. We know that when Sanheriv, after the destruction, why they call him Sanheriv? That we Heriv, and he took all the nation, all the 12 tribes, and he spread them all over the world. So today in Eretz Israel, we don't have it. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So Bnei Israel today, we're not full. The tribe of Bnei Israel, we are not full. Because we know Adam Sheor about the 12 tribes. And there is different opinion that we brought to where they are. But today, Bnei Israel, we're not one nation. Why? Because Sanheriv, after the destruction, took us out of Eretz Israel, and he spread us and he mixed everything. That's why they call him Sanheriv. San, that he mixed everything, Heriv, and he destroys, Sanheriv, that he destroy everything, and he mixed us amongst the nation and the world. And that's why we don't say today, Bnei Israel. Today we call Am Israel. But among us, today there is still the multi-nation. No one can deny it. People that hate religious people and hate the religion, and they say that you don't keep Shabbat, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu specifically say, and you say it every Friday in the Kiddush, Yom HaShishi Shabbat Vayinafash. What it means Shabbat? Not Shabbat. Shabbat. Shabbat, it means stopped. HaKadosh Baruch Hu stopped working on 7 days. So how can you say you want public transport on Shabbat? You actually going against HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's just about one idea. How can you say that religious people not allowed to study in yeshiva? They have to join the army. You're going against HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That we have to have an army, every religious people will accept that and agree with that. What they don't agree to the idea that the Jewish people should have a mixed army, men and women. That's all. That's the difference. I hope I answer your question, Mark.
Thank you, Rav.
Guys, any other questions? Sorry, I needed to drink something. My throat is dry after speaking 45 minutes.
Just a Yeshaya. No, just big Yeshaya. What a wonderful shir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Any
I really
question,
appreciate
guys?
it.
Any question, guys? Any question?
Sprach, Rav.
Okay, if there is no question, guys, I just would like to say to everyone, Isher Koach, have a good evening. To look after yourself, keep safe. Make sure that you're wearing mask. Make sure that you're keeping distance. It's true that the number dropped down tremendously in South Africa, from what I understand, but still, please be careful. Not just to lose it and not to wear the mask and to think that we're now out of it. The plague is still here. We've done a shiur about it. We have to be careful. We have to take the necessary cautions. And Be'ezrat Hashem, we're all going to unite it soon. The adult, the young, whatever you want to call it, whatever name you want to call it, the people after the age of 60, for me, they're still young. Mark, you're still young. Liz, you're still
I'm a
young.
youngster.
All of you, you still look young. And we hope to be united again in Shul, please God, speedily in our days. Amen. Ken Yiratzon, and we'll see Mashiach Tzidkenu.
Amen.
Rob, thank you.
Guys, have a good evening. All the best.
Good night.
Shabbat
Shabbat
Have a
tov.
good night. Bye-bye, Janet. Bye, everyone. Ciao,
Shabbat
ciao.
Thanks, Rabbi.
Thanks.
Ciao, ciao.
Thanks,
Bye,
Rolf.
Blitz. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Shoni. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye.